you have to find purpose. You have to find yourself. You have to discover why you are here. Where were you? Not where. And you have me thinking, you have people like me asking, like, first off, I did ask to be here. Why do I not have to come and be finding something that I did not lose? Because it's not like I threw it away. What are we talking about? If you have these questions in your mind, we're about to delve into a conversation that will, answer all of those questions for you. I'm having a chat today. We are having a chat, myself, you, and we are having a chat with this incredible young woman. Now, she is a highly accomplished TV personality. She has been doing TV for well over 10 years. She has movies on Netflix. I've been dying to say that part. Like, she's a Netflix movie person, actress, and she has earned several nominations all through her career, won so many awards, and she's also a businesswoman. I have to add that in, and a beautician. I have to add that one again. Then you'll be wondering why I'll be having this kind of conversation with an actress, a TV personality, plus radio personality. In fact, when I met her, she was on radio. Then she left us on radio and went to TV. Then she left us on TV, went to go and act film. Then she left active and went to open salon. Then she left the salon, and now she's the Pathfinder.
I was doing them all at
Oh,
once.
you were doing
pretty much.
You see, saying these are the issues. So practically, she's been doing that, and she has dedicated her most recent days to helping a lot of individuals, especially women around the world, to discover what it is they want to do with their lives, and find purpose. And I know a lot of people would say, why? Excuse me. A lot of people might ask, why are we doing women? Why are we focusing on women a lot? What happened to the men? Sometimes I used to ask that, till you realize that women have a lot more responsibilities, especially in this day. You have to juggle being, especially maybe a wife, a mom. You have to, be a wife to your husband. Right. You have to be a mom, a wife to your husband, a mom to your kids, sometimes your husband too, a daughter to your family and your in-laws. You then have to pursue a career or run a business, or pursue a career and run a business at the same time. Meanwhile, we have the men, most times just juggling being a business or a career person. They don't necessarily have a lot of pressure as much as the women would to handle. They have their struggles too. They have their struggles, but right now we're focusing on everyone should carry his own cross. Well, basically, her name is Mbasiti Julius Jesse. Hi. Welcome to the house, Mama.
Thank you so much.
First off, I need to say, start this conversation by telling us how you have maintained this gorgeousness. This gorgeousness. Because how do you do it? You always look younger. There has to be something you're doing. So what are you doing?
What am I doing? First off, thank you so much, Chume, for having me, and thank you for the compliment. What am I doing? Look, it's the Lord. It's the Lord. Some consciousness, being deliberate, but honestly, I give it all to the master artist and creator.
I love that you actually admitted that there is some work that goes on behind closed doors and some intentionality between maintaining, because you have 3 kids.
Yes, I do.
I look like I have 3 kids, as as compared to you.
Bless the rest.
I'm just saying. But some women would have that, and they'll be like, "Oh, it's nothing. You just drink water and mind your business." Because the water that we are drinking,
it's not doing.
They are drinking from the river of life.
But thank you.
All right, now you have transitioned from several industries into others. Right. You have done a lot of transitioning.
Yes.
You've juggled a lot at the same time.
True.
Walk us through your journey into becoming the Pathfinder from the start.
So, should I begin from childhood? First off, vet medicine was the goal, right? I did sciences. Hi, everyone. How are we today? How are you? Actually, it's just you. It's just you.
It's just you.
So, I wanted to do the sciences for whatever reason that makes us feel like science is the
It's
is the main thing when we're younger. So in secondary school, I did the sciences and I struggled with physics and chemistry. I am grateful that when it came to JAM, now I am grateful that my scores were not high enough for me to get into vet medicine or medicine and surgery, because that's the reason that was how I dodged.
Oh, that was how you stayed away from.
So I had to choose between microbiology and psychology. Yeah. And at the time, it was just a choice I had to make because, I had to go to school, right?
Yeah.
And my mom was like, oh, yeah, make a choice. So I asked my brother, who studied physiology, which I should go with, which was easier. That was the question. And he says, microbiology, tougher than medicine. I'm like, thank you. So I went for psychology. It was literally how I became a psychologist, which I practice now with my whole heart, which I'm gifted to do. So that's how I ended up.
P.S. I wanted to study psychology. That was my own dream.
Really? It's still something you can do, by the way.
Oh yes,
so
yes.
It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I've got my first degree in psychology, and when I finished school, I was just waiting, and I had people who loved me and were concerned about me getting a job. And so one of an older friend had this opening or heard about this opening at a certain bank that I worked with. And so I'm feeling like a radio girl, and I'm wondering if I should say the name of the bank or not. I'm kind of forgetting. I'm a guest.
Did I not just tell you?
Don't mind me.
I just told you, radio will never leave you. It's in your body.
No, it is when we're trying to save brands. Before we mention you. But anyway, so I worked with the bank for 2.5 years. But in the course of that, I realized it wasn't something I wanted to do. I struggled being a banker. And one day, long story short, I resigned and I left. And I remember that when I resigned, I had people who had been in the bank and had worked for up to 7 years tell me, we envy you right now that you can get up and take a walk and leave banking. Yes. So it just shows how a lot of people are doing the thing that they don't love and they do not want to do, but they just feel stuck because of the fear of the unknown. So that was one. Talking about my journey, I was a banker. I was in banking. I actually worked with Zenith Bank at the time, and I was in banking for 2.5 years. Then I resigned because even as a banker, I was passionate about the media. So another thing worthy of mention is when I was much younger, I thought about presenting, but acting was a major. And I'll do all the rehearsals where you stand in front of the mirror and do all that drama. We all do it. It's not cliche, we do it, trust me. When you're passionate, you do it, as if you can, pull up tears and all that. But I spoke to my parents, and I remember my dad had some friends, younger friends at the time who were in the industry. And he's like, I could introduce you to them. But I didn't get to begin acting until I was done serving. So I actually did my first movie as an actor after my service year. So that was even before I became a banker. But of course, like I said, when people are concerned about you, get a job. I got this job and that happened. So I resigned and I started freelancing on radio in Jos, which is where I came from, by the way. And I got on radio to nothing. It's not like I wasn't getting paid. I just knew this wasn't where I was supposed to be. And so I was on radio on Rhythm for a couple of months. That stopped for certain reasons. Then I moved over to Peace FM and worked there until I started with KTFM.
So let's understand this. You left a job that was paying you.
Yes, I did.
And moved on to a job that
wasn't paying a dime,
including transport fare.
Nothing, baby.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll come back to that.
And for me, it now I realize, and even then, I just knew I was passionate about people not doing what they didn't want to do. That was it. There was nothing about the pathfinder. There was no branding then, but I knew I was one to encourage people to do what they loved. So it's almost like I was my first trial, by life, and I took it and I did it. So there were tough seasons. I never truly regretted not leaving the bank, but I know I had tough financial seasons. And guess what? I resigned when I just got married, and we went through our phase of downtimes. Yes, yes, but so I journeyed through that, being on radio. It grew from freelance to freelance or part-time, then full-time with KTFM, then, it became what it did. Then after a while, I just realized, okay, I needed to do other things. That's how I started the beauty salon. I've always been passionate. I learned to make up when I was really broke, but I was passionate about beauty, so I started running my makeup studio that eventually became a salon. And what else did I do during that time? I started presenting. Like I said, the goal was TV. The goal has always been TV for me. I've always been passionate about TV. But I also knew that radio was a gateway, I would say, to TV. I remember that when I went to audition for KTFM, when I interviewed and auditioned, of course, it was, I'll call him Uncle Steve Gukas.
It's the fact that I can still remember that audition. It's
you were there.
I was there. We went very early in the morning. We stood there on.
We wrote we did the
tire.
What?
We were playing with your Sonia Dash outside.
Oh, God, while we waited.
We waited till evening, till late at night, and then we eventually.
I left earlier.
I did it.
Okay, see, gist. So anyway,
let's stick to.
Yes, so I mentioned at the time that I was passionate about TV first. Passionate. I don't know if that was a wise thing to do, but I'm grateful for wisdom. So because it is now. If you say you're passionate about TV, what are you doing on radio?
What are you now doing?
Come and give me the job. But anyway, so the good thing is, so Steve Lucas says, so you love TV, then why are you doing radio? What if tomorrow you get a radio job, a TV job? Does it mean you're just going to up and go? And oh, God is gracious. I just said, well, when we grow into TV, when KTFM grows into TV, then I'll move over to TV.
So
and they're like, wow, you're living on. I eventually got that job, of course. Time came, long story short, 2021, I moved to Abuja. And I got the opportunity to be on TV with Viewer TV. I'm still part of the family. So I was a news anchor for a while, but it's interesting that once I got on TV, you couldn't tell it was my first time being on TV as a news anchor. So before then, I of course had presented a couple of shows for other people, freelance, and so that happened. So part of how I moved, or the reason why I moved to Abuja, even though I kind of knew it was a season for me to move for over a year from Jos, I knew it was time for another challenge. But the reason why I eventually moved was because I went through postpartum anxiety and depression with my third baby.
Oh yeah, we are going to have that conversation in another episode. It's just so
now.
you know,
Okay.
just so you know that it's something that we have to talk about.
Oh yeah, no wala. So I went through that, and I needed to get away from the space. Good thing my other kids were on holiday, so we came into Abuja for the holiday. But when we came, I just realized I didn't want to go back to Jos. I just didn't want to go back. So for my mental health, and it just aligned with the fact that it was time for growth, and it was good for everybody in the family. And God bless my husband. Look, this purpose thing, be sure to be married to the right spouse, just in case you're
I was looking at the timer to know how long it will take you to mention your husband, because you do it all the time. She's always like, you see, if I did marry this man.
No, this man plays a major role, guys. He allows me soar, and for me that's one of the greatest gifts for me, because I'm an eagle, in quote. I like to soar. Freedom is a big deal for me to be able to express, and so that's one of the greatest gifts I have in my marriage. So we came, and I've always counseled. So of course, like I said, I'm a passionate psychologist, not just by the degree. I'm gifted with the gift of counsel. And I've always had people come to me to ask me this and ask me that. But one night I am nocturnal too. So 2:30 a.m. one of those nights when I can't sleep. I'm thinking, because there's always just so much to
think about.
Yes, to just meditate on. And the Pathfinder just drops in my spirit. And I just knew that that's what I was. So it was almost like I was looking for a name to call myself. I don't know. But the Pathfinder just rested. And so I made a post that night on Facebook and Instagram. And I say, my name is Ambassador Jessie, and I'm the Pathfinder. And I just help bring clarity to your path through life. That's what I do, which is what is tied, of course, to purpose. And honestly, clarity through every other area of life. I realize I'm gifted for that. So, and I'm like, try me. Go to sleep, wake up the following day in the morning, and I have like close to, at the end of the day, about 100 messages in my inbox with people sending me issues of life. Yes, and it just kicked off from there pretty much. So that's where I would say the Pathfinder rested. But it's been a journey. That's a summary. It's been a whole journey of self-discovery for myself.
I was hoping you used the word self-discovery, and I'm sure I'm glad you did, because when they say you have to find yourself, I'm often confused because I'm right here.
Trying to find yourself?
No, I'm here.
You have found you. This is who you are. You're here. You are found.
So what is the you? What is the you that you're finding? Because it sounds some kind of way when someone says you have to find yourself. If I'm trying to find something that's lost, for example, if I am looking for a colleague of mine, say, help me find AY, I would leave this place. Well, if AY is right in front of me and I'm saying I'm looking for AY,
right?
It's now okay. What? If I'm looking for, he's here.
Yeah.
What am I looking? I don't know if you feel me. So what do you mean?
So the thing is, and I'm sure you know the answer to this question, but it's for all of us. So the thing is, the person who you are is your soul, is not your physical presence. It's the way that you can look into people's eyes and tell if they are there or if they're not. If something is going on, if something is not. I look into your eyes and I can tell who you are. Like, I know who you. When you tell somebody, I know who you are.
I know you.
Yes, you're not talking about the physical presence or just the flesh in quote of that person.
It's like saying, do you know me or do you know of me?
Or the way you tell people you don't know me. It's that same thing. It's because what we are is deeper than what the eyes catch. And the thing about finding self is that life is a journey. Purpose is a journey. So when we say find your purpose, we're not just saying reach one destination and tent there. Sometimes it could be that, but most of it, for all of us, purpose will be a journey. All the things I've shared are part of that journey. And even you self-discover. There are certain things about yourself you didn't know about. Before I experienced postpartum anxiety and depression, there were certain things I didn't know. Till today, I am still self-discovering. So even with my purpose, I'm still on the journey of that purpose. And discovering the purpose is a journey of self-discovery. That's what it is. I hope that kind of answers it.
That works. Now you've what then is your purpose? Not you now.
I understand. What is purpose?
What is purpose? What is that thing that you're always saying we have to find? Because I remember I joined one of your Facebook
lives.
Yeah, okay. And you spoke about genuine, like your true purpose.
Right.
So I'd like you to tell us the difference between purpose and what true purpose is. Because saying true purpose now means that so you can have a false sense
of purpose.
So walk us through like from what purpose is, and how to know this one that I think is my purpose, like this pay is not the real one.
Are we sure? Should we check again?
Yeah.
Let's go. So I like this particular definition of purpose that I heard from someone, and I hear it's from Miles Monroe. Purpose generally would be the reason why something was made, or the essence of something. That's purpose, right? Why something was created, why something is here, why you have these computers, why this mic is in front of me, why we have our phones. There is a certain function that it plays, or role that it plays in our lives, or what the maker had in mind when he created that thing. So that's the purpose, the general definition of the purpose of something. When it comes to mankind or humankind, Miles Monroe says, when you were created, God factored in, God, our creator, our manufacturer, factored in the fact that there would be a season or a generation or a certain time in life where a certain need would be needed. There would be a certain need in life, or a certain need will arise in a certain generation or time. And so what God did is put the solution for that need in you, brought you here for you to meet up with that time, and then bring out the solution for that need
through you.
That's what purpose is. That's what genuine purpose is. One thing I say is, and I've realized, and this is me over time, just going through this purpose journey, I say that the universe or humanity or the world is like a system. a system is a combination of different things playing certain roles to achieve a certain purpose, right? So I use the car as an example. The moment a bolt falls off of your car or a certain part of it, you most likely will be able to tell by the sound, sound, even if you don't tell at that time. Over time, something more will give way and you'd realize that there is a problem. So the world is a system and all of us play a role in this system. All of us, by our purpose. So whether it is that I am helping people discover their purpose to do what they do, whether it is that Chingwe Blessing is just passionate about radio and being a broadcaster, disseminating information so that people get to learn, whether it's just that, or someone loves engineering and they're ensuring that that works to ensure that the station runs. We're just passionate about something that we do not even understand why we are. We're part of the system, and our functioning in the different areas of our passion and our calling is what keeps the system running. The moment Mbasity or Chingwe gets off that system, we create an imbalance. And honestly, what I say is that's how evil thrives, because there would be no vacuum. So a lot of us have left the places of our purpose because we're pursuing some purpose, for example, like ensuring that our family must feed. And when you're supposed to be a teacher in school, or you're supposed to be teaching children, you have ended up being a banker like I was.
Because it pays more.
Because of survival. And you have left a vacuum. And so when other people come with certain things and policies to begin to fill that vacuum, you and I are beginning to protest and say, no, we can't do this, because our children are being taught the things we would not want them to be taught. But we do not know that we are the genesis of the problem. We shifted.
I'm glad that you mentioned some of the reasons why, and I know that we've not come to true purpose, but so we do not forget.
Let's not jump the gun.
There's so much to unpack and so little time, so you just know that you're coming back.
Okay, now 2
more episodes. One will be to finish this one, then the other one will now be to talk about postpartum depression and anxiety. I know if you're coming in, but
yes.
Now, you mentioned having to fend for yourself, having to feed your family. You could, some people would say, well, easy for you to leave, a paying job to a non-paying job, because you had a husband that was supporting you at the time.
He didn't have a job.
Your husband didn't have a job.
He was a hustler, yes, but trust me, we had our fees. It's not like he had.
How do you then hold your head? How do you then hold your head up
at that time?
When when you're like, okay, this is what I'm passionate about, as opposed to what I have to do. Is there a way that they can run concurrently for a bit before you now can
find the battle switch totally, or pivot?
Yes.
Or transition. So the thing I say, because I have people now who are married with kids ask me the question of how can they do that. And I remember I had to speak with some people in a meeting, an online meeting a few weeks ago, and part of what I said was, I believe it was easier for me to leave banking because I didn't have children. I literally got married in July and resigned in August. Like, I'm going. And actually, for me, it was a conversation I had with God, and I'm like, I'm tired. I don't want to be here since like April. And I felt like God was saying, chill until you get married. That's how it felt to me. So
very relatable. I feel like there are times when your system, and I don't want to really make it like
life is
a religion.
My sister. Not
I don't want to make it I don't want to religiosize it. But I feel like within you, that part of scripture that says all you need pertaining life is within you. I feel like within you, when the timer starts to tick, you just know that it's time for me to up and leave this place. It's time for me to leave this situation. It's time and if you remain in it, you become still. You feel the stillness within you.
That's right. You're right. So wait, what was it now?
We were where
you said
how
something
you
that
deal
different
with
things
the
are
two
flying in my head. Okay, like when there's a lot to say.
Currently run.
So the thing is, I know it's going to be tougher for people who have gotten to a certain place in their career or who have a lot of responsibilities to take a walk. But what I say is, and I coach people to self-discover, I call it Discovery, it's a program I do. And the first thing I say is, there's always time for your passion. There's always time for your passion in between there. So just begin from a place. Begin from somewhere. If it is that you feel you've been called to do media, now I'm literally live on Instagram doing this. You've got social media. There are ways that technology has made things easy. So you can do stuff. If you feel you've been called into agric or farming, you can do your job and still find some. There's always a way for the things that you love.
Yeah, you're passionate about.
There is always a way for the things that you love.
You know, what you just said reminded me of what late Pastor D.S. Adams said one time, and it stuck with me. I was really very young when I heard it, but it stuck till today. He said that thing that you notice is wrong, people might not notice, but the moment you hear it, you know that there's something. It should have been done better. That is where you're supposed to be, where you can just. That's a pointer to where you're supposed to be. Is this something that I mean? I know that it's something I've held on to and I've been able to ride with, and it's been able to guide me. But is this something you would advise people to do?
In what sense?
To look at like
the things that irks them.
Yeah, no, like if you're
make them uncomfortable.
If you're trying to figure out, okay, then what then is my purpose?
Okay, right? Like what are the pointers to your purpose? So of course, passion, the things you love to do that you will do whether you get paid for or not. We know how we started this radio thing, sweetheart. Girl. I literally wasn't getting paid.
Girl.
I mean, I left a paid job.
I've said this before. If you call 10 OAPs, radio presenters, and ask them, did you start with a paid job?
Oh, we know
9.5.
You know, so I know when I started acting and the jobs that I took, where now I can decide, no, I'm not doing this. Now I know my worth. I've grown. It's not just about knowing my worth. It's that I know I've reached a certain place in my growth where I can determine what I get paid, you know, but there's that process. So at the beginning, it's passion. Passion is a pointer. The things that interest you, you know, because I'm for example, a multi-potentialite. A multi-potentialite means that you've been given to do more than one thing. And that is a story for another day because that can be so confusing. There's a lot that comes with that.
I used to say it's a blessing. It's a curse more than it's a blessing.
But there's, I call it the curse of being multi-talented. There is something as that, you know. So there is that. So if you've been given to do more than one gift, you need to understand that you have certain interests. But even in the midst of those interests, there would be something that there's almost like an inbuilt priority list on how they come, you know, especially in the different seasons of your life. So the things that interest you, the things that you're passionate about, the people you admire, you know, the people you look up to can be a pointer as to the things that you should be doing with your life. You know, the things that come to you naturally, the things that are your strengths. You know, like I said, banking. People liked my personality, but I knew I was struggling. You see, this dotting I and crossing T, which is what is required as a banker, because you have got to pay attention to the detail. So I did my best, but the truth is, I know I struggled with doing my best. I did better in other departments because I went round, but I know I struggled with some. So these are some of the things. Of course, there are other nitty-gritties, but yes, and the things that you look at. So it's not just about seeing something that is bad. For example, I see politics and I'm like, I know it can be better. I know this is not the way to do something, but I don't feel like I've been called into politics. So it is possible to see something that you do not like and not exactly feel like you're meant to fix it. But if you feel like you can do better, that's a pointer. I feel like I can do
want to, like, there are so many follow-up questions. I have not, this conversation has, no, I can't, because time.
We're done.
They have reached.
Oh my goodness.
I have so many, I haven't touched, we had like 9 pointers that we were supposed to look at.
Right.
We haven't touched one. Okay. And there's so much to look at. I was going to go into,
fine. We're here.
Okay, what happens when it now gets tough? How do you know that you're not supposed to jump from one to another one?
Everything is tough. There's nothing you're doing now that is not tough.
But we gotta
choose your tough. Exactly.
Thank you so much, University Jessie,
You're
for
welcome.
coming
Thank
and having this chat.
Me.
We can't wait for the next episode.
Okay.
We can't wait for the next one after that. Where can we find you on social media?
At University Jessie is my handle on Instagram. I'm more active on Instagram and Facebook. So at Ambassador Jessie, just type in Ambassador Jessie. Google it. I like that.
Google it.
I love Ike Osaki Odoan. He said that one day on his talk. So Google it. You'll find me. I've got a website, ambassadorjessie.com. Yes, I'm on YouTube at Ambassador Jessie. And of course the Pathfinder TV, because I also have my TV. I have my shows. that are very inspiring and encouraging when people share their stories. So yes.
Okay, I'm sure we want to hear more from her. I want to see more of her in the interim. We gotta go. Thank you so much. It's been a very, very educative and exciting edition of VOP Lifestyle 360. My name is Chinwe Blessing. Start your journey to discovering your true purpose. You're here for a reason. Life is beyond paying bills. And I'm saying this even to our international community because, you know, lots of people are complaining lately, have been complaining about how, you know, living abroad can be pretty tough and it's like you're living to pay bills. Find a way to inculcate your passion in your life so that you live a field life. Chinwe Blessing. The news at 6 comes up at 6 in the interim. Havana. Let's join Camila Cabello and Yonton.